What's up, y'all? It's your boy Karceno here, and a lot of y'all didn't know I've been like sick for a couple of days because I was still pumping out videos, but I haven't been 100%. This is the best I felt in a long time, and let's move on with it. This is a debate that we were starting with that happened online, and it was just out of conversation. And everybody wanted to chime in on it. So I said, well, let me make a video then so everybody can really address it. And this is the LeBron James versus Allen Iverson. Who is the better player? And there's a lot of different factions because they don't play the same position. And for different reasons, people will pick other players for reasons. If you pick LeBron James, I'm not mad at you that you pick LeBron James. I ain't going to say you stupid or you wrong. LeBron James is an exceptional basketball player and an exceptional basketball choice. Now, today, do I think LeBron James' gameplay is up to par to where Allen Iverson's gameplay is? Absolutely not. He has digressed so much that people don't even see it. And it started in like 2014, 2015. I've seen a change in his game to where he wasn't as explosive as he used to be. And that comes with age. It comes with wear and tear on his game. People forget he played it out of high school. He didn't have 2-3 years in college. He came right out of high school. So he started immediately playing at a high level, which was a lot of pressure on him because they gave him the keys to the league as soon as he came in the door. And what the league is doing for him now is giving him everything he needs to get to the finals every year. Because they have nothing on the East to even combat him, to give him a challenge. They just say, well, forget that. The West is where the action is. Well, LeBron travels every time. Forget it. We ain't going to call it. He elbows people, we ain't gonna call it. Push off, we ain't gonna call it. So how would you rate that player when you're allowing this player to break the rules? And it's a double standard for him and all the other players in the league. Then I look at people like Allen Iverson. So it's kind of amazing to me what Allen Iverson was able to do, being 5'11", or they listed him as 6'1", but he's really like 5'11". This guy weighs like 160 pounds, and he's battling these 250-pound 7-footers, and he's going right at them, and he's scoring 30, 40 a night. Not only leading the league or averaging probably the most steals in a game, he turns a game around. And looking at the talent level he had on his team compared to what LeBron has had in his career, Allen Iverson overachieved. And Pat Croce leaving as owner really left a void in the ownership department as far as getting talent around Allen Iverson to help him succeed. Larry Brown and Allen Iverson's relationship became toxic. The media and all the things surrounding Allen Iverson became more toxic. The NBA against Allen Iverson became more toxic. But the guy produced on the court probably better than anybody I've ever seen take the reins. This guy's shoes, merchandising, outsold LeBron's hands down across the board. So this guy didn't belong to Nike. He had Reebok. Reebok didn't have a superstar like that. Not like that, of that magnitude. He had a lifetime contract. His shoes, the question, sold for like 5 straight years. The same original design. They just kept coming out with more colors. They had other teams wearing that color. Like Michigan State, all of them had the questions with the green. Every team in the league, they were getting contracts based off Allen Iverson's shoe. So they were the only shoe to beat the Jordans. So look, that's not anything as far as to compare who's better between the person because they shoot. So I'm just saying the type of impact he had. Allen Iverson, better handles, of course. Steals, well, he's a point guard. He's going to average probably more steals than LeBron or be in that category like LeBron will average more rebounds than him. They both are explosive when they were younger and made plays. LeBron made a lot of plays with his explosion. He is fast to be that big. He's like every bit of 280, but is very athletic for that size and can jump out of a building. So it was harder for him to be stopped once he was moving. Everybody found something wrong with his game, even though he was scoring 20-some points a night. They're both great. But to me, Allen Iverson has more of a disadvantage. So I give him the more upside because not only did he average more points than LeBron, he basically shot more than LeBron, but his field goal percentage is about the same. And LeBron shoots more in the paint than Allen Iverson did. I mean, Allen Iverson shot a lot of threes. And, man, I'll tell you what. This is one that will go down in history as a head scratcher. People in Philly will say Allen Iverson. Well, this is like you're only as good as your last game. Pretty soon, they'll say somebody else was better than LeBron. When LeBron retired, they'll say LeBron is this. People always notice the player that they're watching now. He's the greatest of all time. There's no way. I don't even put him in the category of Jordan, Kobe, Magic. LeBron is in his own category as far as like with Allen Iverson and all those guys. You know, Allen Iverson could be in the conversation with Kobe Bryant to me. He could be in the conversation with Jordan. He could be in that conversation. LeBron, to me, is not in that conversation. He's more in a Magic Johnson conversation type, like who was the better, but because they game are kind of identical. You know, so to me, it's very hard to say. His basketball IQ is up there. He's sharp. He's a great passer. LeBron can pass. I think that's one of his attributes that gets overlooked a lot is that he can run the point position quite well from his passing. His ball handling skills is not that great when it comes to. I thought he would improve on that. It really hadn't improved since he's been in the league, but he really hasn't had to make too much of an adjustment to his dribbling game. His shooting has improved a lot, and now it seemed to start. I don't know what's happening with it. It's digressing again, and he's losing confidence in his shooting. And you know, he's looking for people to bail him out now, and it's sad. He just comes to the hole, push people down, and lay up the ball. And at this point in Iverson's career, he was still able to score 60. He was lighting it up. But now, they made rules to try to stop Allen Iverson because he was unstoppable. I've never seen them come up with a rule to stop LeBron. That's all I'm saying. So, here's another guy. He's going to tell you why he thinks LeBron James is the best player ever. Or is he? He wants to go off stats, so I'm going to let him and enjoy what he has to say.
Does this mean that he is the best player ever? I mean, it's very debatable because you got to think now LeBron James is one of 4 players to only have 3 championships and 4 MVPs, not to include the 3 Finals MVPs, and the man has a numerous amount of points. He's one of the top players in points, rebounds, and assists in the entire history of the game. I mean, he's 13 years in. He's a 12-time All-Star. He's an 11-time first-team All, 12-time first-team All-Pro. I mean, the man has been in the running for Defensive Player of the Year, all defensive teams. all of these crazy statistical categories, and it's kind of hard to say. I mean, the argument can be brought: is he up there with Michael Jordan now? Now, I definitely wouldn't say that he is better than Michael Jordan. No, I wouldn't say that, because Michael Jordan, I mean, the numbers just speak for themselves. I mean, the man averaged 30 points a game. He was 6 for 6 in championships and all these other things. But LeBron James has a legit case. I mean, he has done some things that Michael Jordan's never done. Coming back from 1-3, that's never been done in the history of the NBA, and it's kind of hard to see it happening in the near future. I mean, that's just me stating what I believe. Also, not to mention that the fact that he took down 73-1 Warriors. Most of the time in Michael Jordan's career, especially in those championship runs, he was considered the favorite. This year, LeBron wasn't considered the favorite. The Warriors were the overwhelming favorite. I mean, I think before the series came, this year, before the series even started, the Cavs were given a 25%. I mean, every 75-25 Warriors, but opinion-wise, and according to ESPN BPI. And then not to mention the fact that the Warriors have won 73 games. That's never been done in the history of the NBA. And then the Cavs were down 1-3. And so you add all of that with the fact that LeBron James has taken 2 teams to the NBA Finals, has won the championship with 2 different teams, and he's been to the finals 6 straight years. It's hard to argue that this man isn't not only an all-time great, but that he may not be maybe the greatest player ever.
Now, I got to stop and address this. You know, and this is what's wrong. I mean, I no offense to the Mr. Lighty, Jeff. The thing is that you look at this as it's real, and and the way his eyes light up to this, it's like you know, it's, I hate to take the joy for people, you know, and be like, dude, it's fixed. LeBron didn't take anybody to the finals. They could have put him in Bocasaw, Arkansas somewhere, and that team would have went to the finals. They put you in these positions when they want you in these positions. Now, you got to be able to play, of course, but you think a team with Bosh, Wade, LeBron James, that's not a great enough team to win in the East, where everybody's record is like below 500 and they're like in the playoffs? It's like a joke. So LeBron going to the finals 6 straight years just tells you how bad the Eastern Conference is. There's no definitive team. Even when Derrick Rose was MVP of the league, the Bulls were the only team in the league they thought they could match and play and challenge Miami. They were wrong. It was the role players that were freed up due to the fact that LeBron was going to get so much attention, but they don't run any plays. Their offensive sets are terrible, and they couldn't even beat San Antonio. They had to rob San Antonio. San Antonio had to come back and beat them the next year. Dallas beat them because they run plays. That's how you beat Miami. That's how you beat Cleveland. That's how you beat any team that LeBron is on. Their offensive sets are basic. It's high pick and roll. Do what you want to do. Basketball. There's no plays, no cuts, no nothing. Their offensive sets are terrible because LeBron James never learned how to play basketball from a college professional standpoint. He played high school basketball, which they don't run too many offensive sets. And what you don't learn is how to run a structured system. So for 13 years, LeBron James had been running basketball, just doing whatever he wanted to do. So they know this, so they work with it. Like, can nobody touch LeBron? LeBron gets away with offensive foul. LeBron can get away with traveling and all of these different things. And this guy, Jeff, you gotta stop watching ESPN and feeding people stats. What in the world is an ESPN voting poll? You have to have watched these games, knew what the players were in the league, how the rules were. All of these things matter. That's why you can't really judge who's the best basketball player, period. When I made my decision, I took everything out and just judged it off of the game and the knowledge of the game and how the game was played from what I've seen. And I said, from what I've seen, there's one player that embodies everything, and that was Isaiah Thomas. Half these guys that's in the NBA right now, that were in the NBA, like Allen Iverson, all of those guys looked up to Jordan, Isaiah. They knew him because they watched him growing up. You guys watched them growing up. But that's who they watch. And very few have reached that plateau. Isaiah figured this game out a long time ago. That's why he could teach it. Have you noticed most of the greatest basketball players in the world are not head coaches? And they can't be head coaches? Is because when you reach the pinnacle, it's kind of hard for you to teach the game to somebody else because you used a lot of natural ability instead of intelligence on the court. That's why Isaiah could be a head coach, because he can explain the game. He could break it down to someone who didn't have his talent and still show them how to play the game at that standpoint. LeBron never had that supreme coaching. He never had someone to really show him the structure of different sets, different defenses. LeBron learned everything in the NBA. And he learned on the fly, and they just said, well, let LeBron be LeBron. He don't need to learn any offensive sets. So he's always had a coach in which he could tell what to do. In Miami, they had the former screen coach. All he did was spatter forward. He was the film guy. And all of a sudden, he's the head coach of the team. So LeBron can tell him what to do, and then that's the word. LeBron can coach the team. So that aspect of it, I see what they're doing, and, nobody likes it, but it is what it is. What you gonna do? Change the way they do business? It's not gonna happen. But as far as Allen Iverson, man, this is a guy that fought the league, fought everybody. I always go with the underdog. To me, he's a better player. Just period. If I need somebody to go to war with, it's Allen Iverson. And for the record, both players love each other to death. When they met on the Olympics and went to play on the Dream Team, they got really close and bonded, and they was best friends. Like, LeBron looks up to him like, that's my big brother. My big little brother, and he looked up to Allen Iverson. Because Iverson took the time to talk to him and really get to know him more than like what Michael Jordan did. And then you have a situation with Allen Iverson. He loves LeBron. He thinks LeBron is special, and he said, hey, they're going to come after this kid one day. Right now they love him, but they're going to turn on him eventually, because that's what they do. They turn on their stars. And then it's to the next guy. But these players, they love each other, man, and they respect each other to death. And for people who think I hate LeBron, I don't. I'm just telling you the truth. You guys are delusional when you think of this stuff. You guys look at stats instead of actually watching the games and actually seeing what's going on. People are showing you the crimes that he's committing on the court and that they're allowing him to get away with. Nobody says anything about that. He flops, he offensive fouls, but it's the referee's job. It's not LeBron James' job to ref himself. It's the ref's job. It's the league job. But y'all don't complain about it. Y'all don't say, man, who we supposed to call? Who we supposed to contact? Man, complain to the NBA and say, hey, man, what's up with these officials? I'm going to stop supporting this garbage. if y'all keep doing this. Last year was terrible. It's a terrible year for basketball. As far as NBA, and definitely for the playoffs. None of the games were competitive. They were all blowouts. Even especially the Atlanta-Boston series was terrible. This team go up 20, they go down 20. They go up 20, they go down 20. So y'all can read off all the stats y'all want. I don't even go by stats. I go by what I've seen. And so far from seeing, I think there's some players still ahead of him. Like Tim Duncan. I would put Tim Duncan ahead of LeBron James. I mean, Tim, and through his career, started to break down, but he played 20 years, 19, and he was dominant for like 17 of them. You know, so it's kind of hard to talk about like he's the greatest ever when Tim Duncan was just beasting. I think he won the NBA championship his rookie year and won 5. He didn't lose a lot. Like Duncan really was in contention. So I don't know, man. It's this is one that everybody's discussing. I said it in a video once, and people just went off with their own thing. So I said, well, let's make a whole thing to talk about it. So y'all tell me what you think. It's your boy Karceno. I'm out. Follow the playlist. I'm gonna put it on there. It should say NBA 2016 or whatever. Follow that. And follow the other playlists. I'm out of here.